Let me read something real quick. Oh, peace. This is Keeping It Real with Rami, myself being Rami. Thank you for joining us, joining me. Um, the next day, I was in my car driving along the freeway when at a red light, another car pulled alongside. A white woman was driving, and on the passenger side next to me was a white man. Malcolm X, he called out. And when I looked, he stuck his hand out of his car across at me, grinning. Do you mind shaking hands with a white man? Imagine that. Just as the traffic light turned green, I told him, I don't mind shaking hands with human beings. Are you one? Man. Reading from the autobiography of Malcolm X. Excuse the noise. They doing construction upstairs. I'm going to just let it roll, keep it real. Um, this book really changed my whole outlook on life. I read it as I was coming back from a conference for my job in Basel, Switzerland, and that whole experience changed my life. Just being out in Switzerland and you know being in this whole other country, they didn't speak English, wasn't the first language. I barely saw any Moorish or quote unquote African people, black people, etc. Um, and I mean, it was just it was mind blowing. It really showed me how big this world is, and how much of it I wanted to learn about and travel and see and experience. And on my way back, I picked this up in the airport on my way out there, and on my way back, I cracked it open and started reading it. And I had heard Malcolm X and By Any Means Necessary, The Ballad of the Bullet, seen the movie, bits and pieces of it anyway. But I don't think I'd ever read the book, at least for comprehension, and reading it for myself. And I mean, it's just mind blowing. It changed my life. It really helped me to see the world, myself and the world in a new light. Um, and his transition and his journey from quote unquote Malcolm Little to Detroit Red to becoming quote unquote Malcolm X. All of that is amazing. But what I found most amazing was his transition when he went to Mecca. And, you know, I also find that it's very interesting. Most people don't really speak on that if they even, know about that part of his life and really understand and comprehend, you know, the messages he was trying to get to us about that. And not just his trip to Mecca, but meeting different foreign nationals and leaders of different nations all around the world. And here it is in 2015, and some of these words ring true. I just want to read this last little bit here. It says, "I must be honest. Negroes, Afro Americans, he doesn't have this, but I add blacks, African Americans, black Americans, people of color, show no inclination to rush to the United Nations and demand justice for themselves here in America. I really had known in advance that they wouldn't. The American, quote unquote, white man has so thoroughly brainwashed the black man to see himself as only a domestic civil rights problem that it will probably take longer than I live before the Negro sees that the struggle of the American black man is international." And this chapter is called 1965. What is this? 50 years? 50 years ago, he was talking about us taking our problem to the international level, to the United Nations. And we still are talking about civil rights. We still ain't getting it. Powerful brother, man. One of our great prophets or messengers, you know. I feel, anyways. Um, and so I just wanted to share that with you. That book was really important to me. Side note: Alex Haley is a plagiarist. You should know that. That the story, The Roots, the movie, The Roots, that was based off of uh, a story that this European brother named Harold Courlander, Courlander, I think is how you spell it. But if you just look up Alex Haley Roots plagiarized, it'll come right up. And he stole that whole story from a European brother. And these people in my generation, I know for me, we were played and pushed. Roots was pushed on us like that was, you know, um, our actual history, and it was a hustle, to put it lightly. Um, but yeah, that's it. Uh, it's coming up on that 7-minute mark, so I'm gonna close out. I gotta make some lunch. Peace and love.